I've been doing a number of videos exploring how we can make a snatch recovery safer. So the first video we did was we threw a bow shackle into this tree and it was exciting and wild. Then we put some air dampers on a snatch strap and blew those snatch straps, and we found out that you need 3 air dampers with about 5 kilos of loose weight in each air damper to make that effective. Otherwise there's not much point in putting an air damper on there. Then we've come across a company that's making a snatch strap with a tether in it like this. And they are pretty confident that this works. Now, we're going to test it out today. We're going to actually blow this apart at its fuse and see what happens. Now, what have we got in place? Well, we've looked at this whole setup and made it absolutely safe, even though we're doing something really dangerous, because we're actually going to blow a brand new snatch strap at its fuse point. And that is right here. Now, we don't know whether it's going to be this fuse that blows or the fuse on the other end, so we've got it set up with cameras so we can watch everything. Then we've got the tether secured back on a separate recovery system to the tree to make it so that it should, if it works as per the design, it should capture the blown snatch strap before it comes and hits my vehicle. Now, we have got some reservations about this. We understand the principles that have been applied to the design of this strap, but we're not convinced it's actually going to work. And this is the reason why. When we're doing a snatch recovery, the vehicle's traveling at a fair rate of knots. So if the fuse blows right here, then this tether becomes quite tight quite quickly. And when that happens, I've got to stop the vehicle between the fuse blowing and this reloading the snatch strap and failing back here. Now, the design might be clever enough that this stitching here fails before the snatch strap gets any real load in it. It may be that this breaks quite easily. We don't know, but we're going to test it out right now and find out what happens. So what have I got on the vehicle to make my recovery point here so it doesn't fail? I've got a factor 55 hitch receiver into my tow pack. I've got a gator jaw soft shackle, which is rated to 14,500 kilos, or tons, I should say. So this is massively strong and safe. And then I've got my fuse here, which is on a 9,000 kilogram strap. And that's where we expect this to fail, providing this has all been done right. And then the tether comes back to a separate mounting point on the vehicle. So we know that this is safe. We've also added some Lexan sheeting to the back of the 80 series so that I'm protected. I've got a draw system and a cargo barrier in there, so I am absolutely certain and confident that I am safe. Okay, and that's what's set up. So let's find out now. Let's go and do this. Well, what can I say? Fail! A tether strap. Pretty well pointless, wasn't it? Now, we did that test twice because we had 2 snatch straps, and this is the first one, and it failed at the fuse, which is exactly what we want to happen, but the tether failed, which is what we expected, and it was pretty much didn't seem to slow it down one iota. Now, this is the second one, and it failed at both points. That grey there is from where it was around the bow shackle and came out, and it's actually melted it. It's actually generated a fair amount of heat in there. Now the beauty is it did fail at the fuse point as per design, which is excellent. And I want to show you a few things up this end which I think are really important. You see, this is where generally when people are getting killed in snatch recoveries, it is where it's happening up here. It's because they're not using correct equipment in this end of the recovery. All right, so these components that are failing are weaker than the fuse. Now, obviously with this scenario, I've got the Factor 55 hitch link in hitch receiver in place, and these have got a nice radius section up inside the corner here, so that the gator jaw has absolutely no damage from being, having that sort of force induced. Nor down in here where the snatch strap was. There's absolutely no damage to this part of the gator jaw from that snatch. And the other point would be up in here. Again, there's just no damage or deformation in that area. So the gator jaw and the hitch receiver have done their job absolutely perfectly, which is good to see. And the snatch strap in here has done its job perfectly. The fuse has done its job perfectly. But the concept of a tether being sufficient to control this sort of snatch recovery does not work. So have a think about that. I'd love your comments. Hit that subscribe and like button down below there. What can I say in summary? As per my previous unauthorised testing, 3 air dampers with 5 kilos of loose matter in it, like loose sand or loose dirt, is going to stop the energy coming out of a snatch strap. Okay, so that's a good thing. But follow the hierarchy of recovery. What's that? Well, first thing, put your 4-wheel drive in 4-wheel drive. Second thing, air your tyres down. Third thing, use a shovel, pack rocks. The other thing you can use is tread boards, something like that. Use a winch. All of those items before you go and get your snatch strap out. These things are just plain dangerous, and there are so many areas that they can cause trouble for us. They are a very effective tool used correctly, but all too often they're not, and they're getting people hurt and damaged and killed. So that's my thoughts. Well, that has been some absolutely fascinating testing to have done. Now, while we've been packing up, Aaron and I got talking about, well, what have we actually learned? So we're going to do another video over in the studio, and we're going to put the link to it up here. Now, we'd love you to subscribe, which is down there, and if you'd love more great Mad Matt 4-wheel drive content, follow the links over there. I'm Mad Matt. Stay safe on the trails.